Hello, my name is Helen Bowles and I work in the Education Data Division at the Department for Education, and I'm here to talk to you about completing the school workforce census. These slides list the topic areas I will be covering during the presentation. The submission of the school workforce census return, including a set of individual staff records, is a statutory requirement on schools and local authorities. The data collected via the school workforce is used to support raising standards, provides funding and assists in the monitoring and development of policy, and is the department's sole source of this data. It is expected that a well-managed school would keep information required up to date on an event-driven basis, which will ensure minimum burden on schools when the data is requested by the department. Information on staff employed in the establishment types shown on this slide is required as part of the school workforce census. There are many uses for the data collected as part of the school workforce census. The next two slides show just some of them. The data will also underpin performance tables and a number of national statistical publications, so it is important that you submit the correct data at the right time. The school workforce census collects information on full and part-time teachers, teaching assistants and other support staff employed by schools and PRUs. Every school will be expected to have a special educational needs coordinator, known as a SENCO, and a head teacher or executive head teacher. Where a school has an executive head teacher, they can also be reported in another lead school. A teacher includes those who are employed directly by a school and an agency agreement teacher working within a school in a post that would normally be filled by a teacher employed by the school. A teaching assistant includes support staff based in the classroom for learning and pupil support. Other support staff includes those that are not classroom based. A complete list can be found in the guidance. The school workforce census is divided into two levels, individual and school. Each level comprises modules of data items related to a single theme or topic as shown on the slide. The slide provides details of what information is required within the staff details module and applies to those staff with current contracts or employed via a current service agreement for 28 days or more on the census day. Employers should have verified the name of their staff as part of the checks with the disclosure and barring service. If staff are provided by a third party, then their identity should have been checked. A national insurance number must be provided for all staff in regular service. Schools, including academies and local authorities, should make every effort to ensure an NI number is provided for each member of staff. However, if one is not available, then the field should be left blank. This field is used for matching purposes and for tracking individuals over time, so that statistics can be produced. Ethnicity is collected for all teaching staff. Ethnicity is a personal awareness of a common cultural identity and relates to how a person feels and not how they are perceived by others. It is a subjective decision as to which category a person places themselves in and does not infer any other characteristics such as religion or country of origin. The school must not ascribe an ethnicity to their teaching staff. This information must come from the teaching staff. Where the ethnicity has not yet been collected, this is recorded as information not yet obtained. If any of the teaching staff decline to provide ethnicity, a code of refused should be returned. It is for schools to decide how best to collect disability information and for staff themselves to decide whether they want to declare that they have a disability. It will be important to assure staff that the information they disclose will be handled sensitively and confidentially and used to improve opportunities and outcomes for them. Staff do have the right to decline declaring this information, and in such cases, schools should record refused. Qualified teacher status is required for all teachers and teaching assistants in regular service, regardless of whether they are employed by a school, the local authority, or a third-party provider. The fact that a person has a teacher number does not necessarily mean they have a QTS. Teachers without QTS can still be members of the Teachers' Pension Scheme. For example, those who did not successfully complete a teacher training course. Any queries about a person's QTS should be checked with the National College for Teaching and Leadership. Any member of staff employed by a school may have one or more contract records with the same school or one or more contract records with different schools. Contract or service agreement records, as appropriate, should be returned from each school or local authority. Current contracts or service agreements must be included if the contract has lasted 28 days or is permanent or has a contract end date 27 days or more after the contract start date. The date of arrival must be provided for teachers and teaching assistants that started their current period of continuous service with the school on or after the 1st of September 2009. This information will enable the length of service at a school to be calculated. Long-term absences, whether for sickness, maternity or paternity, should not cause this date to change. For staff that began their current period of continuous service some time ago, it may not be possible to accurately provide this information. In such cases, the field can be left blank. Teaching roles for school-employed staff will normally be one of the ones shown on this slide, but any of the roles in the code set can be used. Teachers of ethnic minority groups should be assigned the role of minority ethnic support, and teachers of English as a foreign language should be assigned the role of language support. Under Section 67 of the Children and Families Act 2014, all mainstream schools are expected to have an SEN coordinator, and this must be reflected in the return. Support staff, teaching assistants or other support staff should not be assigned any of the roles in the above list, except SEN coordinator, language support or minority ethnic support. Many different job titles are used for support staff, and this slide shows examples of how some of them might map to the roles in the code set. Note that the role identifier of educational psychologist may be available in some systems, but school workforce level data is not required for these staff. It is unlikely that any educational psychologists are employed directly by schools. They are more likely to be centrally employed by local authorities, and headcount data will be collected on them from the local authority. Origin information must be provided for all teachers and teaching assistant contracts that started from the 1st of September 2009. This data is used for analysis of newly qualified teachers and of staff returning to the profession, and this analysis will only be reliable if the origin data is returned accurately from all schools. However, it is not expected that this information will be collected for contracts that started before September 2009, and the field should be left blank. Destination information must be provided for all contracted teachers and teaching assistants that left during the previous academic year. It is not required for other staff such as agency staff. This slide shows what is collected regarding pay details of contract. All establishments must ensure that hours worked per week are recorded accurately. The information on hours recorded in the census is the number of hours worked in a normal week. Staff members who have been employed for more than 28 days should be recorded as working the number of hours worked in a normal week. Please do not report individual staff contracts in the school workforce census showing 0 hours worked per week. This could include Staff employed on flexible 0 hours arrangements where the hours work cannot be determined. Where this applies to a teacher and they are in school on the day of the census, they should be included in the occasional teacher count. If it's not possible to determine a typical week and the staff are not present on census day, then they should be omitted from the census return. Information on the timetabled hours for teachers and some teaching assistants will be provided in the curriculum module. However, hours worked per week is important for calculating a staff member's full-time equivalent and will provide useful validation for any information provided in the curriculum module. It is important that the number of weeks per year for which a member of staff is paid, including any paid holiday, is recorded correctly, as this information is used for calculating and analysis pro rata salaries. It is important that the number of weeks per year for which a member of staff is paid, including any paid holiday, is recorded correctly, as this information is used for calculating and analysing pro rata salaries. Information is required on any activity or circumstance, except for training, that takes a teacher or teaching assistant away from normal duties with their usual employer for half a day or more. For the purpose of the school workforce census, such periods away from normal duties are considered to be absences. This slide shows what data items are required for the absence module. Curriculum information is required for all teachers and teaching assistants in regular service, where they are timetabled. Information is not required for other support staff, such as technicians. For each teacher or teaching assistant, the curriculum module should include several entries, one for each combination of subject and year group taught by the individual. Information is required on the type and subject of certain qualifications held by all teachers and support staff in regular service. Qualifications in England, Wales and Northern Ireland are grouped into levels from entry level to level 8. The National College for Teaching and Leadership holds information about the first degree and initial teacher training qualification of some teachers and will share this information with the department. However, the agency does not hold information on any additional qualifications gained, nor on the qualifications of those teachers who qualified some time ago. To gain a complete picture of the qualifications held by teachers, the department requires the gaps to be filled in the National College for Teaching and Leadership's data. Schools or local authorities should either check the qualifications held by the National College for Teaching and Leadership and provide any qualifications not held by the National College for Teaching and Leadership, or gathered and record all the qualifications information on all their teachers and submit it to the department. Each qualification must have either one or two subject specialisms associated with it, and these must be recorded using the Joint Academic Coding System, known as JACS codes, which have a hierarchical structure. Schools and local authorities may return either the level specified in the subject codes or, if their systems allow and they wish to do so, the more detailed JACS codes. The complete list of subject codes and the more detailed JACS codes associated with each of them is published on the JACS website. Schools and local authorities may wish to use this document to identify appropriate subject codes for qualifications. Schools are asked to provide class of degree for teachers with a date of arrival in school from the 1st of August 2013. This information is only mandatory where the qualification code is returned as first degree or equivalent or Bachelor of Education. Information must be provided for each teacher post that is vacant or temporarily filled on census day. A post is vacant for the purposes of the school workforce census if it is not covered or is covered temporarily by other staff within the school, or is covered by a teacher on a contract of less than 1 term, or is covered by a teacher on a contract of at least 1 term and no more than an academic year. This slide shows the data items required regarding vacancies. School workforce census takes place once a year. The census day is always the first Thursday in November. Schools' data should contain a snapshot of the situation on this day, along with historical absence and leavers data. A return for every academy or school must be submitted to the department by the return date to allow for error correction, authorisation and credibility checking to take place before the collection closes. School workforce data is collected using the department's centralised data collection system for education, known as COLLECT. COLLECT offers real-time data collection monitoring and progress reporting, and allows schools and the DfE to view the same information at the same time. Access to COLLECT can be gained via secure access, known as SA. Each school should have an SA approver who will be responsible for setting up relevant users. If you do not know who the approver is in your organisation, please contact the SA Help Desk via a service request form. If you are an approver and are not sure how to set up users, please refer to the SA Approver Guidance. All schools are strongly encouraged to use the reports available to check their returns for completeness and accuracy. The reports are based on a copy of the data from the end of business the previous day. If any data has been collected in COLLECT since then, the report will not match the live data. The exception to this will be where information is being provided from multiple sources and matching and reconciliation will be conducted. A beta release of the School Workforce Census COLLECT portal will be made available to all schools and local authorities prior to the census going live. This will allow files output from schools' management information system to be tested prior to the census going live. The department would strongly recommend that, where possible, all schools take the chance to load a file output from their management information system into the COLLECT familiarisation portal. This will enable you to double-check that all the required data is being output correctly from your MIS into your census return. You will be able to check whether there are any validation errors or queries generated against your data when loaded into COLLECT, which these will need to be resolved before the collection goes live. This will be especially important for any schools completing the School Workforce Census for the first time. The Data Collection Help Desk will provide details of the arrangements for accessing the COLLECT familiarisation portal to schools via a Census Readiness Bulletin. The Data Collection Help Desk issues regular email bulletins before and during the data collection period. These bulletins provide important messages to help schools make a successful school workforce return, and so it's important to read the information carefully. This slide provides links which you may require before and during the collection. To find more information about how to submit your census data to us, including details about what data is collected for each census, and further information you'll be required to know can be found on the census page. Please take some time to read these documents, as they will help you fulfil your statutory requirements and successfully complete an accurate census return. In addition to the online documents, we will also provide a data collection forum. The purpose of the forum is to provide a facility to allow customers to exchange ideas and good practice relating to specific data collections and related EDD systems. You will require a username and password to access the forum. If you would like access to the forum and do not have a username and password, or if you have any questions about the facility, please complete a service request form. I do hope you found this presentation helpful. Thank you.